All right, hello everyone and welcome to today's video. We are going to be showing you how to create a TXT upload so that you don't have to manually key in unemployment or state W2's. All right, so I'm just going to share my screen here. I have to do it a different way than I normally do because I need to be showing you guys more than one thing. All right, I got everything ready, I believe. All right, so we've got QuickBooks Desktop company file that we ran payroll in. We go up to the employee here and select payroll tax forms and W2s. And I'm going to create a state W2 e-file. And next we'll create the state unemployment e-file. And so it's going to open up in Excel. And the states that allow electronic filing that QuickBooks can help with is Alabama, Arkansas, Arizona, Colorado, Connecticut, Delaware, Washington, D.C., Idaho, Iowa, Kansas, Kentucky, Louisiana, Maine, Maryland, Massachusetts, Michigan, Minnesota, Mississippi, Missouri, Nebraska, New Mexico, Ohio, Oklahoma, Oregon, Pennsylvania, Rhode Island, South Carolina, Vermont, and West Virginia. Whew, that was a mouthful. I'm glad I learned my abbreviations when I was in 7th grade. All right. So what you need to do is get the QuickBooks data, and that imports the QuickBooks data into Excel for you to review. Do not send this Excel workbook to the state agency. Then it'll walk you through a SMART interview where it asks just a few questions to get some additional information for your state agency. Then you click create the W2 file, and then it will save a format that your state agency uses when you do this process, but you have to follow the instructions for the electronic filing. And then it'll ask you to save the Excel spreadsheet, which I recommend saving it as the spreadsheet and the TXT file both. So that's 2 separate steps that we'll do later. And send the W2 file to the state agency. Note, QuickBooks does not send your W2 file to the state agency. You have to go to the state website and follow their instructions for uploading. All right, so we hit continue. This is a Minnesota-based company file, so Minnesota was already selected. And that is probably because I have already done this before. But if it's the first time doing this, you'll probably have to click the drop down and select the state, and then you click get QuickBooks data. And this process takes a few minutes. It takes longer the more data that it's pulling. So this is fairly small, only a couple employees. So now this pop-up says that the W2 data has been retrieved from QuickBooks, and the next steps are to review it for accuracy, make any adjustments if needed, and review your W2 e-file. Okay, so I normally will have printed a payroll summary. I don't know why that escaped me there for a second, but I download a payroll summary and I add the lines so that I can reconcile what are going to be federal taxable wages and what are going to be state taxable wages, because there are certain things that are excluded, and that's covered in another video. And so then what I do, and I always have to remember to take this out, is I throw an auto sum so that I can get the totals here for the forms, because that's another way that I check. First, I do a quick check to make sure the box 1 and box 16 wages match, and that they match what I was expecting them to be on my report. I have had some where the owners, the 2% S Corp owner health insurance didn't get added. And so I've had to manually add that to box 1 and 16 and make sure that it's not on box 3 and box 5 wages. All right. So I've already reviewed this and to make sure that it matches what my report says and what I was expecting it to say. So now I'm going to delete this line because it will cause issues when you upload it into the state. I'm just going to manually hit save as, and I'm going to choose a place. I'm just going to throw it in my documents folder and call it state W2. I'm getting the warning saying that it's not going to be, or that it doesn't do it if it's got macros. I'm just so that we can finish up the W2 because it's exactly the same, but I just want to show you guys how to do it. And we're just going to assume that we've already reconciled and verified everything. So as soon as it loads, I'm just going to go into the, and see, this is how it normally goes. It pops up with what we want. We click start interview, and we've got the same issue with the social security numbers. So I'm just going to put a 4 in front because around here numbers start with a 4 if you're from here. All right. So go back to start the interview. I understand that I must carefully review and answer the following questions. So we say next, it chooses where we want to save it. Again, name it something that matches your file convention that you are going to be able to search for later. And it wants you to verify all of this information. So the EIN, the state agency number, the employment type, and you just want to make sure that the correct one is here. If they happen to change their federal tax ID number during the year, and it does occasionally happen where you'll have to you can report 2 different EINs to one state agency ID. And then you choose the kind of employer. And this is where if it's a federal government, state or local government, a 501c3 tax exempt employer, state or and local tax exempt employer, but most common is other, none apply. And then make sure that the address is correct. And if this business closed, we would want to make sure that this box is checked. And if we're a third party, so we would fill this part out. I'm not going to fill that part out here, but it's pretty self-explanatory how to get that filled out. And then we do need to fill that part out. So I'm just going to say that it's Big Boss and the phone number, put a fake one in and a fake one there, and say next. Congratulations, it's complete. So then we want to create the file. And so now it's been created. And again, I always recommend saving the workbook. All right. And again, it is only for the states that I listed. I'll have the states listed in the description below the video. Please like, comment, subscribe, share with your friends if you think that this is valuable.